Hello everyone. Welcome to Talk the World. Maybe you or your kids are good at playing with Lego, but do you really know about Lego? Today we're going to talk about Lego. There's no doubt that Lego is the most successful and profitable toy company on Earth. Every year it sells more than 1 billion sets of toys. In 2023, its revenue reached $9.8 billion. I want to tell you that in the past half-century, Lego has produced over 1 trillion blocks. And these 1 trillion blocks can be almost completely randomly combined with each other. If you want to collect all of them and divide them equally among every person on Earth, then each person will have a set of more than 1,000 blocks to play with at home. You should know that Lego's sets are quite expensive. Larger sets can sell for as much as $500 or even $800. But despite this high price, they often run out of stock. I want to tell you that there are actually many thieves who steal Lego from toy stores. There are even rumors that Lego is more valuable than gold. For example, this is a limited edition Spider-Man figure from an anime exhibition in 2013. This small thing is worth more than $10,000 on the secondhand market. Can you imagine? Some people may think that because Lego is so expensive, it must hold patents and raise prices, and use the same kind of marketing strategy as luxury goods. Well, that's not true. Although Lego's profit margin is indeed higher than LVMH, its patent expired 30 years ago. Now anyone can compete with it. However, no one can shake its position in the toy circle. Is it capital that pushes Lego to adopt internet strategies? No, it's just the opposite. Here's Lego's current equity structure. The largest shareholder, which holds 3/4 of the shares, is actually the founding family controlling Lego. The remaining 25% is controlled by the Lego Foundation, which was created by Lego itself. Basically, it's all owned by Lego. It's still a family business, the most private type of enterprise. Capital and private enterprises are two extremes. Capital usually plays by burning money and expanding rapidly through capital power. But Lego does the exact opposite. It makes money by burning money and expands rapidly through some mysterious power. What mysterious power is it? In today's era of popular video games and short videos, how did it become famous around the world by selling building block toys? Let's take a look at the secrets behind Lego's business. Lego is a Danish company. It was founded in 1932 by a Danish man named Christiansen. This old Christian was a carpenter. He had no ambitions. He just wanted to open a wooden toy store in his town and make something fun, like ducks and dogs, and pullable toys with wheels. These were nothing like the Lego we know today. Later, he named his company Lego, which comes from the Danish word legget, meaning playful. The point blocks that Lego later made are actually not invented by Lego. They were invented by a British toy company in 1939 and patented. They looked very similar to the current Lego, but if you observe carefully, you'll find that there is a key difference between them. Do you see it? We'll reveal it soon. This old Christian bought a plastic toy-making machine in 1947 and started making these point blocks. He also called the British company and asked, "Hi, I'm a small company from Denmark. Can I produce similar toys?" The British company gave him a clear reply, "I don't object, and best wishes." This old Christian was overjoyed and immediately began production. As sales gradually increased, they found a problem with the design of these blocks. That is, they weren't very sturdy. You can see that inside these blocks, they're hollow, and they only rely on friction at the four corners to stay together. If you build them a little complexly or add more, or make them taller, they'll easily fall apart. So, Lego improved this design in 1958. The main improvement was to add some hollow tubes in the middle of these bricks, which increased the number of contact points between the bricks, thereby greatly strengthening the stability of the connection between the bricks. It may seem like a small change, but it's actually very important. Basically, after that, Lego's basic form has been fixed. You can buy the same Lego now as you did half a century ago. They are compatible with each other. And the patent applied by the British company at that time was also bought by Lego for a very low price in 1982. In general, there were no major disputes over patents. This is the earliest Lego brick. There was no manual or final shape. It just gave you a bunch of these pointy bricks. Kids could play with them however they wanted, letting their imagination run wild. Because it's easy to use and highly expandable, so sales continued to rise, and Lego's toy forms were rapidly evolving. First, Lego introduced the Lego Town. With this concept of a toy system, in the 1960s he successfully launched Wheels. It might look childish, but kids really love it. After playing with it, you can even turn it into a little car to play with. Sales began to skyrocket. By 1968, Lego had sold 18 million sets of toys worldwide. Later, the successor of the old Chris, the young Chris, to better sell his products, even built a small airport in his headquarters in Billintown in the 1960s. Later, this airport was gradually expanded and has now become Denmark's second largest international airport. It was also in the same year that Lego opened a Lego theme park in Billintown. It started with only 3 acres and gradually expanded to 24 acres. Now it has become a famous tourist attraction in Denmark. You can imagine that in the 1960s, Lego was already selling very well. But I want to tell you that this is just the beginning of its rapid growth. The next 20 years saw rapid development. In the 1970s, another big design appeared from Lego, the Lego People. With the further improvement of the toy system, one hit after another appeared, such as spaceships, castles, pirates, etc. By 1990, Lego's revenue had reached $500 million, becoming a giant in the global toy industry. Speaking of which, let me ask you a question. We just said that Lego is Danish. Then besides Lego, Denmark also has many globally renowned companies, such as Carlsberg, which sells beer. Do you know who is the highest listed company in Denmark? It's actually Novo Nordisk, a pharmaceutical giant. Okay, let's get back to talking about Lego. As we just said, Lego's development has been smooth and prosperous, but it wasn't so simple. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made this video. In the 1990s, Lego's growth entered a bottleneck period. It felt like the toy had reached its peak, and the market was saturated. At the same time, the patent expired, and competitors began to enter the track. Worse still, the entire toy industry was undergoing tremendous shocks. The game industry and the internet industry were booming. In fact, when we talked about NVIDIA in our previous episode, we also mentioned that with the progress of graphics card technology, the 1990s was a boom period for electronic games. Many classic games were released during that period. So at this time, Lego, on the one hand, accelerated the launch of various themed sets, many of which you may not even see any traces of classic Legos. On the other hand, it also tried various new entertainment forms crazily, such as launching its own games, magazines, novels, TV programs, including media clothing, expanding its amusement parks, etc. Basically, although he didn't say anything explicitly, his actions were telling everyone that he felt that his original flagship pointy brick might be about to go out of fashion, and he needed to complete the transformation before being eliminated. So what happened? You can hear my tone. You'll know how bad it was. Although its revenue continued to grow, and the number of employees continued to increase, the profit margin was getting lower and lower every year. In 1998, Lego's revenue reached 7.7 billion Danish kroner. That is more than $1 billion, setting a new record. However, it suffered its first loss. Net profit, 280 million Danish kroner. This clearly indicates that Lego is struggling. It was forced to lay off 1,000 employees, but it failed to reverse the decline. 2003 was a dark moment for the company. Not only did it lose money again, but it seemed like there was no hope of standing up. The 70-year-old toy giant Lego had almost gone bankrupt. So in 2004, Lego decided to change its CEO. He chose a man who had worked at McKinsey before, named Knudstorp. This Danish name is quite difficult to translate, so let's call him K. As CEO, he proved to be an extremely successful decision. Kay saved Lego and brought it back to glory. Let's see how Kay thought about problems and solved them. Kay thought about this for a long time. He found that in the past 10 years, Lego had ignored the most basic and fundamental question. Why do we exist? You can imagine what kind of crisis Lego was facing at that time. The game industry and internet industry were developing rapidly. If Lego wanted to expand some new businesses, it wasn't a problem. But the problem was that it lost focus. It lost direction. These new businesses didn't have much experience, and they weren't related to each other. They just used the name of Lego, which couldn't form a synergistic effect. This led to a situation where it expanded too widely, but every business was losing money. So Kay made a change. He put the focus back on Lego's core business, the point-and-click building blocks. Other random businesses that didn't help the core business were cut off. This cost-cutting and efficiency-enhancing strategy is a common operation for companies in difficulty. However, this is not enough. We've said before that Lego has encountered bottlenecks in its core business, the toy business. According to the old model, it couldn't sell anymore. This is actually the core problem. How to solve this problem? Kay's choice was very simple. He played his trump card, return to users and fans. This sounds a bit like a cliché, right? Like many companies will say, everything is for customers, customers are God, users are the core. But for Lego, it's not just a slogan. It's real. For example, when designing toys, Lego would involve parents and children in the design process. They would observe their state while playing and interacting. Once they found that the child was not interested or liked it, they would redesign it immediately. And the users aren't just kids. Although Lego's business is toys, it actually has a huge adult fan base. This group is called Apples. Before 2000, the toys Lego launched were basically aimed at children. You can see that the recommended age is usually no more than 16 years old. But many adults also build Lego at home and create their own designs. They also communicate with each other. Before, Lego didn't take this group of adult fans seriously. Even thought these passionate adult fans would pollute their brand image. But later, with the popularity of the internet and the emergence of various forums and communities, Lego was surprised to find that this group of adult fans was so large and was growing rapidly with the help of the internet. Finally, they realized the importance of this group of adult fans. In 2005, they launched the Lego Ambassador program. They selected 20 adult ambassadors from around the world to interact and communicate with the global adult fan community. They formed an adult fan group and helped Lego with product design and promotion. This role exceeded their expectations. In 2017, they launched Lego Life, a social platform and magazine. Everyone could share their views on Lego, their models, and their designs. On the one hand, it increased interaction among fans. On the other hand, Lego could get timely feedback on products through interactions. Kay said that although we only have 120 employees as designers, we may have 120,000 volunteer designers. Lego also began to launch some series aimed at adults. They are more complex and more attractive. In 2007, they launched a 5,000-piece Millennium Falcon model, which is still a classic series today. Later, they launched a 9,000-piece Titanic model and a 10,000-piece Eiffel Tower. These are all masterpieces of Lego. I have a friend who likes collecting Lego very much. He has all three of those big ones in his living room. His living room isn't big, and they're all over the place. There's no space to walk. Actually, if you think about it carefully, Lego's user-centric strategy is not just a brand promotion. From a business perspective, it is also very reasonable. You see, Lego's core competitiveness lies in its quality and supply chain. Of course, these must be guaranteed. But what is really difficult and core is how to use these simple building blocks. To assemble and design sets that people love to play with. Can't be too simple or too complicated, and it should have enough playability. And you don't just design one set and call it a day. Instead, you continuously produce hundreds of new designs every year, continuously bringing fresh excitement to customers. So, you're listening to this and thinking, this product design is quite challenging. Lego's product design is indeed its top priority. You could say it's not just a toy manufacturing company, but rather a toy design company. LEGO has cleverly integrated its massive fan base into its toy design process. Now, here's the thing about LEGO. It's unlike most products where the design phase may be tedious or require high levels of expertise. In fact, the design phase itself is quite interesting. It already has strong entertainment value, and even for many veteran fans, giving them a pre-designed set isn't as exciting as designing and building something unique themselves. So, these fans are highly motivated to help LEGO with product design. Once LEGO has formed such a large fan base, before production begins, fans can provide continuous design suggestions and feedback. After production, fans can continue to play with the toys, creating a complete ecosystem. This is also a powerful moat for LEGO, allowing it to continuously launch eye-catching designs without relying on patents. I tell you, I've passed by LEGO stores countless times, and each time I'm amazed at how well-designed their products are. However, let me clarify that although the fan base is crucial in LEGO's entire design chain, it doesn't mean they solely rely on fans for design work. The main task is still completed by dedicated designers. Fans typically provide suggestions, feedback, and ideas. That's right. As we've discussed so much, it's actually the first strategy proposed by Coco. Return to users and fans. Because it's so important, we've elaborated on it more. This will definitely help them create products that people like and build a particularly tight circle. So, can they become the biggest toy company in the universe just because of this? Definitely not. LEGO has two other cards up its sleeve. These are all aimed at expanding its reach and attracting those who aren't familiar with LEGO to become fans. The second card is through collaborations with other brands' IPs to create their own LEGO universe. LEGO began collaborating with Lucasfilm in 1999 to launch the Star Wars series. Although Star Wars hasn't been as popular among Asians, it's a phenomenon in the eyes of Westerners. It remains one of LEGO's best-selling series to this day. LEGO was able to survive the darkest years after 1998 thanks to early Star Wars and Lord of the Rings series. Later, they continued to collaborate on Marvel's Avengers, Batman, The Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, Jurassic Park, and many other famous IPs. So, you'll find Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman from DC Comics, and Marvel characters like the Avengers in LEGO movies. Even Lincoln, Ninja Turtles, Shaquille O'Neal, and others appear in LEGO movies. It's amazing. These IPs have had a huge impact on LEGO. It's easy to understand why. Otherwise, the Spider-Man figure wouldn't fetch tens of thousands of dollars on the secondary market. But what I want to discuss is why these major companies, Disney, Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal Pictures, etc., are willing to collaborate with LEGO. They often compete fiercely against each other. They rarely agree to license their IPs to each other. But they're good friends with LEGO, and even appear in the same movie. Isn't that amazing? So, how do LEGO and these other brands collaborate? It's actually quite simple. Most of the time, it's an authorization agreement. For example, a $100 LEGO Frozen set would cost Disney $10 as an IP licensing fee. The specific percentage depends on the value of the IP. It's not publicly disclosed information, but based on what I know, it's roughly in the range of 5% to 20%. Now, let's talk about the benefits of this cooperation for Disney. Firstly, the risk is minimal. LEGO has a strong brand image and high-quality products. It won't tarnish my reputation. Secondly, it won't compete with my existing business. The LEGO universe is a very closed system. It's not in the same category as Marvel or Star Wars. Those minifigures, although they're called Spider-Man or Batman, they look like LEGO figures. In people's minds, they might like Marvel or DC, which can be competitive. It's like some people prefer KFC while others like McDonald's. But LEGO is more like ketchup. Whether you like KFC or McDonald's, you can dip into my ketchup. As long as I maintain my dominant position in the ketchup field, you'll all come to cooperate with me, and we can all make money together. So, you see, LEGO has a good image, it won't compete with my main business, and it can bring me revenue. Why not? After this analysis, you may notice that a key to LEGO's development is not to be too ambitious. As long as you always focus on building your LEGO universe, everyone will remain friends. Just focus on being the ketchup. Then, it's not just KFC and McDonald's, but also Pizza Hut and Domino's that will come from afar. Besides building its Lego universe, Lego has a third strategy, creating its Lego matrix through different media platforms. This matrix refers to promoting itself through various forms such as movies, merchandise, theme parks, etc. You might say, didn't you mention that Lego tried many things in the 90s, and they didn't work out? Well, although the forms are similar, the underlying logic is completely different. Those other ventures are not forbidden, but they must revolve around your core product. What's the core product? The Lego bricks, of course. That's the core competitiveness of Lego. All its peripheral products should revolve around this core and serve to support and promote the Lego universe. The most successful and well-known example of this strategy is the Lego movies. In 2013, Lego collaborated with Lucasfilm to produce a series of animated shorts featuring Lego minifigures. The response was overwhelming, so they seized the opportunity and partnered with Warner Brothers in 2014 to release their first standalone movie, the Lego Movie. I have to say, I didn't expect this movie, which is entirely based on Lego minifigures and toys, to be so popular. It topped the US box office for 3 consecutive weeks and eventually grossed $468 million worldwide. The success of this movie not only excited Lego fans but also reintroduced Lego to people like me who might not be very familiar with it or hadn't played with Lego for years. Even if you don't buy Lego after watching the movie, at least your impression and fondness for Lego will improve. Lego has subsequently released several more movies, which, although not as successful as the first one, still received positive feedback. This is precisely the advantage of the Matrix strategy. It's not just about making money from the movies. The key is that after watching the movies, people will like Lego toys more and be more inclined to buy them for themselves or their children. This, in turn, boosts the sales of Lego toys. Similarly, Lego's social media strategy has also been very successful, following a similar logic. Videos on their YouTube channel often receive millions of views. Lego also launched a reality show called Lego Masters, where contestants compete to see who can build the best Lego creations. This show has gained significant influence globally, with versions in nearly 20 countries including the US, UK, Australia, Germany, and Poland. Some countries, like the US and Australia, have even produced at least 4 seasons showcasing its widespread appeal. These non-toy business expansions centered around Lego bricks have greatly expanded Lego's audience. Combined with the Lego universe of IP licensing, Lego can continuously attract new fans, both adults and children, into its world. Okay, let's take a look at these 3 strategies as a whole. First of all, he grasped the core competitiveness, that is, building blocks toys, and deeply involved fans to create a building block toy ecosystem empire, making Lego an invincible existence in this field. Then, based on this core competitiveness and other manufacturers' IP cooperation, it has included almost all the IPs of major players, creating its own Lego universe. At the same time, it uses different media forms such as comics, movies, reality shows, etc., to build a promotion matrix around toys, steadily expanding its influence. This combination of punches not only stabilized its basic position, but also steadily expanded outward. And the cost is relatively controllable, and it can also maintain its profit margin. It helps Lego, which has become a giant in today's entertainment industry with so many options, relying on building block toys after experiencing the darkest moment in 2000. In 2004, Lego still lost nearly $300 million and began to turn a profit of $117 million in 2005 and continued to grow, reaching a profit of $1.9 billion and revenue of $9.8 billion by 2023. The growth may not be as exaggerated as those internet technology companies, but as a traditional physical toy company, it has already reached the ceiling level. And you should remember that it has no financing or capital operation, just steady cash flow, steady profits, steady earnings. Some people might say that it makes money because it sells at high prices. Is it a highly profitable business? Let's see its cost structure. According to Lego's financial reports, about 1/3 of the price you pay for Lego toys is pure production costs. including materials, manufacturing and production labor, etc., and about 1/3 is sales and transportation costs, and some other miscellaneous costs. Lego's operating profit is about 25%, which is at a relatively high level. But you definitely cannot call it a highly profitable business. For example, Apple is higher than it. What do I have to do with you? When talking about financial data, I think Lego does a pretty good job. As a private enterprise, it has been releasing very detailed financial statements and sustainability reports every year since 2000, clearly communicating its financial situation, development strategy, and encountered problems, etc. to the public. This kind of practice is actually quite rare among private enterprises. Although Denmark does require certain transparency in private enterprise finances, Lego is really open and transparent, and it's quite rare. I think it might just want to make it easier for you to understand and analyze it, so it's so open. Well, what we've talked about today is mainly from a commercial and financial perspective, explaining how Lego developed and what its strategies are, its moat, etc. But I'm standing here from a very emotional point of view. I think there's another key factor behind Lego's success. That is, it's a very likable company. Maybe because it's a toy maker, or some people say, because it's a Nordic enterprise, or because it's a private enterprise, without much capital flavor. Anyway, whether you're interacting with its products, movies, reality shows, theme parks, etc., you'll feel like you're entering a world full of creativity, and very simple, but saturated, and without any sense of commerce or money. You can see that anyone who plays with Lego, whether they're kids, adults, or old people, you can see seriousness and innocence in their eyes. This is perfect in today's commercial environment. Okay, thank you for watching. That's it for today. See you next time for more exciting content.